this is the spot for tonight. Hello everyone, welcome to the BosqueeNet Adventure. My name's Jeff. Hopefully you can hear me over the wind, so I'll talk loudly and I'll try to make this brief. We're out on another solo backpacking trip. I do have some rain clouds coming our way, as evident by the wind in the trees and the gray clouds. I'm doing something just a little bit different tonight, kind of a first for the channel. I'm going to do some hammock camping tonight. So I brought my hammock, brought a tarp, but I'm looking forward to this. So now it's just all about trying to find the right spot. And I think I've got one just over here. And I'm going to get that all set up. And stick with me. This should be a fun adventure. First things first, I'm going to work on getting the tarp balls set up. was just kind of perfect. My chair will be much more comfortable than sitting on this log all night. Awesome. I'll show you all about these guys later on tonight. There's no sense on getting all the sleeping bag out right now and everything else. I'll do that later. I'll have more stuff to go into that in a bit. It's a little bit more warm up here today. Let's get the thermometer out and see what the temperature is. The thermometer says 79 degrees. I'll get that set up over here, and that way we can keep track of the temperature while we're up here. In the meantime, let's set up the table. I like this little guy. It's nice. It is nice and light for backpacking. And it sets up so easy, cleans up easily. Took it home, just ran it under the sink. It was nice. It's got the aluminum top on it, so I don't worry about running a stove on top of this. Some of the ones that have kind of the fabric top, I don't know, it's just me. I worry about running a stove and hot items on top of it. But hey, maybe some of you out there have experience with more of the fabric canvas top table. Do you like it? Do you wish it were aluminum? Do you wish it were something else? Let me know down in the comments below what your thought on a table like that is. I'm curious what your experience with them are. But I chose to use an aluminum one, and it seems to work out pretty well for me. I like having all these hook placements, that way I can stick stuff that I need, like my headlamp for later. Pretty much all set up the way that I want it for this evening. I'll be able to lower the front of this tarp should any weather decide to come in. Jury's still out on whether or not I will do a fire. I kind of want to, but I don't know. If it stays windy, it's just gonna blow embers all this direction and just be a pain in the butt to deal with. And I guess I could move a fire out there a bit or something like that. I don't know. Like I said, jury's still out on the fire. It would be nice, but I may just pass for this evening. But as is customary for this time, with camp being all set up, it's time to take a little bit of time for myself and enjoy the views. I'm not too far off from where we camped last time, and I know that I've got some spectacular views just out this way. So I'm just gonna pack up my chair, grab my drink. I'll bring you along with me, but we're gonna just head out this way just a little bit and enjoy the great mountain views before any weather decides to come in. Well, I sure have been having a relaxing time here at camp. I did some exploring, a little bit of a walkabout, just checking to see what all's about. There's been a lot more people than last time. There was a group of young men that went hiking up this way looking for a spot to camp. I think I may have taken their desired spot tonight, but there's still plenty of places, lots of great places to camp around here. I ended up crawling into the hammock, not necessarily to take a snooze or anything, though I was really close to doing that. Ended up throwing on a movie on my phone. I'm into westerns, so I was watching a John Wayne movie, one of his early ones. It was the 1934 classic, The Lucky Texan. So check it out if you're into old westerns. It's time to start getting dinner on before it gets too much later now. I've just been kind of putzing around, waiting for the sun to go behind the hill, which it has now, and it's time to eat. So let's go ahead and start pulling everything out. There's a little bit of prep work that I need to do. So what are we going to be having tonight? A little bit of coleslaw. Got some brisket. So we had some brisket for dinner a couple of weeks ago. I put it into some nice freezer bags and saved it for such an occasion like tonight. I brought up some tortillas, some barbecue sauce, some hot sauce, of course. This is just a simple green hot sauce. Will be good stuff. But we are making brisket tacos tonight, so I've been looking forward to this all week. It's been the plan for a while now, so let's dive into this. First thing I need to do is to chop up the brisket. As you can see, nice and tender, like that. into the frying pan. Now the stove I'm using once again is my MSR simmer light. This has just been a rock star lately, so I decided I'm going to continue using it. And our brisket goes on to warm it up. Just kind of put the plate over it so that it warms up quick. And in the meantime, I brought up some coleslaw to put on the brisket tacos. It's a great combination. Kind of that savory and crunch and sweetness, so it goes together quite well. I think the easiest way to mix this up, put that back on and all done. Okay. Some of those pieces are too big. I wish you guys could smell this, because it is awesome. Alright, in goes the barbecue sauce. Just like that. Just enough to get everything a coating. I did put a little bit of water in there too, just to help steam everything up. Alright, I think that is all warmed up. Kind of a quick meal tonight. So, we're just making tacos. Nothing special about that. I think I'll just do one at a time for now. Kind of just take all that up there. Throw some of the hot brisket down. Brought up some cheese. Oh yeah, just like that. Now for some of the coleslaw. A little bit more, because I like the crunch. How does that look, my friends? Yum? Let's try it. It's a little big. I normally give the thumbs up when it's good, so I had to put the plate down. That is fantastic and amazing. As always, I'm going to sit back and eat my dinner. I love cooking out here at camp. This was a nice, simple, easy meal tonight. You know, really quick and easy to do. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it enough that you want to try it yourself, and I encourage you to do so. Hey, just a little bit of leftover barbecue makes a fantastic meal. All right, well, I'm going to enjoy this. Thanks for joining me. Well, as you can see, I decided to do a little fire, and it's just a little small guy. In fact, I pull stuff out as it decides to start getting too big, right? I don't need anything for heat or anything else like that. Just the smoke keeps the mosquitoes and the flies at bay. So that's why I lit it up. Dinner was fantastic. I guess it is starting to cool down. It's 69 degrees out now. Though I don't know how accurate that's going to be, because with the shelter right here, there's not a whole lot of wind anymore. All week my plan was to come out and do a rain adventure. I've been wanting to do that for a long time, right? However, I chose the wrong day. So the weather report for this week was Wednesday night. You know, there was like a 30% chance of rain. And then today was supposed to be the 60% chance of rain. Well, I think they had it flopped, because Wednesday we got an awesome amount of rain. A thunderstorm blew through. It was absolutely awesome. So I was thinking, you know, this morning when I got up, all right, here we go, a 60% chance of rain today. And it's just been blue skies. I mean, I showed some time lapse of, you know, some dark gray clouds coming in, but other than the one little cloud that spit rain onto my windshield as I was driving up here tonight, I mean, that's it. So, I don't know, maybe it's late, who knows, but unfortunately, no storm tonight. So, call me just a little bit disappointed. It completely gets washed away with the fact that I am out here camping, doing something I have not done in a long time. I have not hammock camped for a long time. In fact, it's probably been about 30 years since the last time I actually camped and slept in a hammock. I was a young kid then. I was actually on a Scout 50-mile hike on the Pacific Crest Trail. We did a section of the Pacific Crest Trail that went around Mount Hood, and it was absolutely gorgeous and awesome. But day one was an absolute soaker. Just rain, rain, rain. We crossed several fire roads, and every morning or every evening there would be a supply drop-off for us. And they would bring us breakfast. So, I mean, it wasn't like we were having to haul all of our food with us throughout the whole entire journey. We were responsible for our own dinners. And the supply drop was mostly for breakfast and lunch. The first night of the trip was just an absolute soaker, a downpour. And for many, including myself at the time, that first day was just almost a break-it moment. I mean, it was that much rain. You know, I certainly didn't have the gear that I have today that I had back then. I still have it, by the way. I have the backpack that I used for that trip. I'll have to pull it out here sometime. We ended up getting to camp. That first day was like the trial run, right? It was the, okay, let's do something nice and simple and easy. there'll be an escape plan in case there's any boys that are here that just aren't gonna make it because of the weather or because of whatever the reason is, right? Um, and the weather proved to be the kicker for a few boys who ended up heading back home that night, unfortunately. They did come back later on in the journey, but those first couple of days, they were wet ones. I didn't start off that hike in a hammock. I had a little pup tent that I had brought with me, but it was not up to the task of keeping the rain out. So at one of the supply drops, there was an extra hammock, and I managed to snag it with just a piece of, what was probably about an 8x8 sheet of plastic. So I swapped out my tent for the hammock and sheet of plastic, and I had plenty of paracord with me to do all kinds of things with, right? So from day 2 to the rest of the 50-mile hike, I ended up sleeping in a hammock the rest of the trip, and I thought it was incredibly comfortable. In fact, there were a few boys in the troop that ended up doing the same thing, ditching the tents and just straight up going for the hammocks. The first 2 nights, like I said, was absolutely drenchers, but the rest of the trip was awesome. Perfect weather, gorgeous views. I mean, it's a memory that I'll have forever. Doing this 50-mile hike as a youth, it was pretty awesome. So here I am again, deciding, I want to give this hammock camping thing another try. This setup that I have, surprisingly enough, right? So with the hammock, the tree straps, and then the tarp to go over me, this actually weighs more than my nature hike tent. I didn't decide on doing the hammock camp tonight because I wanted to shed weight from my backpack. It was more of I just wanted to try something of a different comfort. Sleeping in a hammock, you definitely have to get used to it. My only advice for those who may be considering, hey, I want to go do a hammock camp or something like that, but I always hear it's difficult to sleep like a taco all night. With the way that I situate myself in the hammock, that I try to sleep diagonally across the hammock, and I'll try to demonstrate this a little bit later on. But I don't put my head up at the top and the feet at the bottom and everything else, and that way I'm in a V shape the whole night. No, I flatten out the hammock as best as I can, and I sleep diagonally in it. That way I'm not so V-shaped. Like I said, I'll try to demonstrate it later. I don't know how well it'll show, but I've done a lot of hammocking, just not overnight. So I know how to lay in them comfortably. Tell me about your adventures. What have you been doing? By the time this video drops, you should have all seen our Cozumel, Mexico adventure. So I was telling you in the last camp out that my family and we went on a 7-night Caribbean cruise. Just in case you're new to the channel, that's what we did to kick off our summer break. We ended up capturing several outings and adventures that we did on our shore excursion days. So the first one, our Cozumel day, should have dropped on YouTube by now. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you got a kick out of that. Mandy jumping in the cenotes, that was just a classic. Seeing Jason and Paige and Mandy be the first ones off the cliff into the water, that's always a delight, right? So love seeing their enthusiasm, and Mandy's scream echoing across the cave was awesome too. I hope you enjoyed that. We had a fun time on the adventure and filming it, and just going through the video and sharing it with you. So we really do hope you enjoyed it. Now I would like to take this time to do a shout out to all of you. Thank you for watching. For those who have subscribed, thank you. I continue to produce all the content because of all of you watching it and giving me the encouragement and liking and subscribing. It's a real boost. It keeps me going. At least on the filming side of things. I would still be camping otherwise. I would still be going on adventures. But there is a level of complexity that comes with trying to film and create enjoyable content at the same time. So to all of those who have stuck around with me, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. All right. Well, the time is getting on. I figured I'd better start getting off to bed. I had myself just a little pile of twigs here, and I just kept on putting them onto the fire. Just kind of enjoying that, hearing the pop and crackle. That's always fun. This log was like perfectly situated here for me to have my shoes all nice and ready for me. But I figured I'd show you guys kind of what I'm doing here, my sleep setup and everything. I recently got myself a pillow to take camping with me. It's a memory foam pillow, so it does scrunch down pretty good, but I needed something much more comfortable than what I had been using. If the head isn't held right, I mean, I just was not sleeping as well as I could have or should have been. But the sleeping bag, see, I had everything all set for wet weather. I had my sleeping bag and a dry sack here, which I ended up not needing. But I am just using my nature hike again. It's summertime. This is the right bag for it. But tonight, I think I'm just going to use it as a quilt. And I don't think I need to get into it. I was showing you guys the temperature just a minute ago. And You know, still in the 60s. It's great weather. I'm gonna sleep well tonight, and I'm gonna just start getting everything situated here and start calling it a night. What I try to do is to lay at a diagonal like this, and that way I end up laying flat, and it's very comfortable. I'm digging this. So as you can see, I'm all set. Y'all have a good night now. The new pillow, very comfortable. It was awesome. Hopefully you can hear that. The birds are out. They're up and going, chirping away. Somewhere around 4 a.m.-ish, my great horned owl came into the area, and he just started hooting away. It was absolutely awesome. That's always pleasant. I love that sound. Unfortunately, you know, I had already packed away all the camera gear and everything for the night, and between me rustling in the sleeping bag, trying to find something, and it ended up scaring them off. So, sorry, I just wasn't able to capture it for y'all. But I ended up sleeping quite well. It's a little cooler out here than what I imagined it was going to be. The temperature really dropped. When you're camping in a hammock like this, you're gonna feel the cold underneath you unless you have like an underquilt for your hammock, which I don't have. So maybe one day I will. So you get a lot of cold seepage underneath you, which was fine for me. I kind of sleep on the cooler side. I like that. But as far as the position and the hammock and everything else, oh, talk about comfortable for me. With the new pillow support, I slept pretty well. It was really good. You know, it's early in the morning. It's about 6. Gonna start getting everything all packed up, squared away, and not doing any breakfast this morning. Dinner last night was so filling. I ended up pounding down like 3 tacos, and so it was a ton of food for me. Gonna get everything all squared away, packed up, and we'll talk to you again once I have my pack on. That was a different sound. Sounded like a baby deer. All right, everyone. Camp is all cleaned up. I made sure to pick up any of the leftover trash that I had. So camp is looking good. I want to thank you all for joining me. I love doing these adventures. It's a lot of fun. I love being able to share these adventures with you. So if you like the content that I'm providing, be sure to like and subscribe. It would really help the channel. And if you have any comments, questions, concerns, are interested in a piece of gear that I used, hit me up in the comments section down below. I look forward to hearing from you. Well, I'm going to start heading down the trail now. Thanks again for joining me. Bye now.